Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're getting to something fascinating. Japan's public transportation system.
Yeah, it's pretty legendary, isn't it?
It really is, and we're using the transportation section from Japan Guide as our guide for this.
A solid source, lots of detail in there.
Definitely. And our mission basically is to pull out the key stuff, the really useful bits, so you can kind of get a handle on how to get around Japan easily.
Right, whether you're actually planning a trip or just curious about how they manage it all, it's impressive stuff.
Think of it like a shortcut to understanding this amazing network.
Okay, so diving in, what really jumps out from the guide right away is the focus on efficiency and punctuality. It's almost mythical,
Absolutely. It's not just mentioned, it feels like the core principle. They talk about superb service even with large crowds.
which is quite a feat, really. Handling huge numbers of people, but keeping things, well, running smoothly and politely.
Yeah, and the guide hints at how they achieve this. The maintenance, the tech behind it all, it's not accidental,
No, definitely not. It's ingrained, this deep reliability. It really underpins why public transport is so dominant there.
which leads us straight into the railways, right? The guide makes it pretty clear they're the backbone.
Oh, for sure. Especially in the cities, the big metro areas, and obviously for traveling between them.
And the star of the show has to be the Shinkansen, the bullet trains.
Yep, the iconic bullet trains. Not just fast, but like precision engineered.
Yeah.
Dedicated tracks, advanced signals, allows for those crazy speeds and pinpoint timing.
Crucial if you want to cover a lot of ground quickly.
Exactly. It's a game changer for long distance travel in Japan.
Though the guide does still mention night trains. A bit more traditional, maybe.
Yeah, it's still an option. Kind of a classic way to travel, maybe save on a night's accommodation too, if you're up for it. It persists alongside all the high-tech stuff.
Interesting. Now, the guide also has practical sections, like one called Taking the Train. What's that likely cover?
I'd guess that gets into the nitty-gritty, how to actually use the system. Figuring out the stations, the signs, maybe the announcements.
Which are often multilingual in big places, thankfully.
Right, and crucially, etiquette. The unwritten rules. How to behave on the train.
Ah, yes. That's important. It ties into the timetables section too, I suppose. Everything running like clockwork relies on people cooperating.
Precisely. Punctuality isn't just the trains, it's passengers being ready, knowing the schedule, making connections work.
You don't want to be that person holding things up. Okay, so tickets. The guide mentions a guide to train tickets, but then really focuses on rail passes. Seems key for visitors.
Absolutely critical, especially for tourists. Rail passes can be a huge money saver if you plan on doing a fair bit of train travel.
Like the famous Japan Rail Pass, the JR Pass.
Exactly. That's the big one for foreign visitors. Usually gives you unlimited travel on most JR lines for a set period, like a week or two. It simplifies things a lot,
Makes exploring easier, I bet.
definitely. But then there's another one mentioned, the Seishin 18 Kipu. Sounds different.
Yeah, what's the story there?
It is quite different. It's seasonal, offers 5 days of travel. But here's the catch. It's only for local and rapid JR trains.
Ah, so no Shinkansen, no superfast express trains.
Nope, none of those. So it's much cheaper, great if you have more time and you're happy taking slower local routes, a totally different travel style.
That's a really important distinction. Budget versus speed. Good, the guide clarifies that.
And useful that it mentions a rail pass calculator. Sounds essential for figuring out if any pass actually saves you money based on your specific plans.
Definitely need that. And it's not just the national pass. It lists regional ones too, like Hokkaido Rail Pass, Jerry South Hokkaido, Kansai Area Pass.
Yeah, loads of them, which
But-
is smart, right? It shows they cater to people focusing on just one part of Japan. Great value if you're not crisscrossing the entire country.
Encourages deeper exploration of specific regions too.
Exactly. It reflects a really nuanced understanding of how people travel.
Okay, so trains are king. Got it. But what about getting to Japan or really long internal trips? The guide brings up airplanes.
Well, yeah, obviously for international flights.
Yeah.
But domestic flights are important too, especially for places like Okinawa, way down south, or maybe up to Hokkaido from Tokyo if you're short on time.
Right, places where even the Shinkansen might take a while.
Precisely. And the mention of domestic discount air tickets suggests that there's competition, so you
Yeah.
might find good deals, making it a viable alternative to the train sometimes.
Good to know. And it flags the main airports, Narita and Haneda for Tokyo, Kansai for Osaka, key hubs.
Vital gateways, yeah.
Okay, back down to earth. Buses. How do they fit in?
They play a really vital role, actually, both for short trips within cities,
Hmm.
the regular city bus network, And for longer distances, the highway buses.
So inner-city travel, too.
Oh, yeah. Especially good for reaching areas maybe not directly on a train line, or sometimes as a cheaper alternative to trains.
And there's even a Japan bus pass, like the rail pass concept.
Apparently so. Again, potentially offering savings if you plan to use buses a lot. They really complement the train network, filling in the gaps.
Good to have options. Now, the guide also gives a nod to other modes. Cars, taxis, bikes, ferries.
Right, acknowledges they exist. Renting a car might be good for very rural areas, gives you flexibility. Taxis for convenience, though pricey.
Bikes for local exploring.
Yeah, great for that. And ferries are obviously essential for getting to all the islands Japan has. So they're part of the mix, even if trains and buses are the main focus for most travelers.
Makes sense. And for city explorers, it lists specific places. Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, Sapporo, Nagoya, Hiroshima, Fukuoka, highlighting the transport in these major centers.
Yeah, because the systems within those cities are incredibly developed. Dense networks of trains, subways, buses, all integrated, makes navigating these huge places surprisingly manageable.
And finally, the guide touches on some travel news and features, gives a bit of current flavor.
Right, like mentioning the Osaka Expo 2025 guide. Shows how transport is planned around big events.
And something fun, the Hello Kitty Shinkansen.
Yeah. Perfect example of Japan blending efficiency with, pop culture and fun.
Yeah.
Makes the journey itself an experience.
It really does. Then there's exploring Kyushu with the All Kyushu Pass, looping back to those regional passes again.
Reinforcing their value.
And a practical heads up. Rail pass prices rise for travel to Nikko. Good reminder to check current info. Costs change.
Always wise. Things aren't static.
And last but definitely not least, train etiquette in Japan.
Crucial point. It's not just about the trains running on time. It's also about the social contract, how people behave to make it work for everyone.
Yeah, the quiet carriages, the queuing, phone manners, all that stuff contributes massively, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It's part of why the system feels so smooth and, well, civilized, even when it's packed.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what we've really seen from digging into the Japan Guide's transportation section is just how incredibly well-developed Japan's system is.
World class is probably fair. Efficiency, punctuality, coverage. It's all there. With railways, especially the Shinkansen, really forming the core.
And so comprehensive. You've got the super fast trains, the local networks, the buses, filling gaps, regional passes for specific areas.
Yeah, there's a solution for pretty much any journey you'd want to make, and often at different price points, too.
So for you listening, the main takeaway here is that you've got a solid foundation now. Whether you're actually planning that trip, figuring out an itinerary, or just fascinated by how it all works.
You've got the basics, right? Understanding the different modes, the passes, even the importance of just being considerate on the train.
It should give you confidence in navigating it all.
Which leads to a final thought, perhaps. Given this incredible efficiency, the punctuality, the sheer volume of people moved daily, what could other countries actually learn from Japan's approach?
That's a big question. And maybe what specific cultural factors, like that emphasis on etiquette and cooperation we mentioned, really contribute to making it all run so seamlessly?
Yeah, it's something interesting to ponder. How much is infrastructure and how much is, well, something else? Definitely food for